She shouted at me, a woman in a visor and orthopedic sandals, while I trimmed a bush in my own front yard. Moments later, 2 squad cars screeched into our cul-de-sac in Maplewood Heights. My 13-year-old son calmly slipped his phone into his pocket. He had recorded the entire thing. Karen had just called 911 to report suspicious male activity involving garden shears. She had no idea her meltdown was about to go viral. My name is David Parker. I'm a quiet guy, a widowed software engineer who moved to Maplewood Heights for the peace and proximity to hiking trails. I drink black coffee, grill steaks on Sundays, and never talk during movies. Enter Patricia Morrison, HOA president. The woman treats shrub height violations like federal crimes and once issued me a citation for excessive seasonal joy. Yes, it was my Halloween fog machine. Patricia brings a clipboard to barbecues and notes hot dog to bun ratios. At first, it was passive-aggressive notes, my mailbox being post-2010 non-compliant. Then came time-stamped photos of garbage cans 1 inch past the curb. She escalated quickly. Random driveway inspections, binocular surveillance, following my son home from school to verify his unit assignment. That night, I installed cameras and warned her, "Stay off my property." She responded with a formal HOA violation letter, unlicensed landscaping. Every morning she patrolled the neighborhood with a measuring tape, checking fences and grass. She spent 45 minutes photographing my recycling bin because the logo was facing the wrong direction. We called her the sidewalk sheriff, though never to her face. She had this eerie ability to appear out of nowhere, like a suburban ninja with a rulebook instead of throwing stars. She set up a suggestion box outside her home. Most notes said the same thing: mind your own business. Patricia made color-coded violation cards: yellow, warning; orange, second offense; red, formal HOA action. I had 7 yellows and 3 oranges for things like a visible hose or non-compliant bird feeder design. She knew every bylaw by heart, annotated her leather-bound HOA guidebook with sticky notes, and gave PowerPoints on mailbox uniformity at meetings no one attended anymore. The breaking point? A Saturday afternoon. I was trimming hedges. Patricia marched up in her visor, legal pad in hand, sandals squeaking. She demanded ID, claiming I was an unregistered male entity operating unauthorized equipment on HOA property. I laughed and said, "This is my own front yard." She turned beet red and called 911. She shouted into the phone about unauthorized flora alterations. What she didn't know, my son Tyler had been filming from our front window. He caught everything, even the confused 911 operator asking, "Ma'am, is this about a bush?" When the officers arrived, they looked at me, then Patricia, then Tyler. One asked, "You got that on video, son?" Tyler nodded and handed over his phone. They watched 30 seconds of Patricia screaming about hedge modification and demanding residency permits for yard work. The cops sighed, told Patricia she was abusing emergency services. She argued HOA authority supersedes local law. They told her to leave my property. One officer pulled me aside. "We get these calls more often than you'd think. You should file a formal complaint." So I did, with the HOA Ethics Committee and our town council. Then things exploded. At a packed emergency HOA meeting, Patricia was unanimously removed as president and fined $8,000 for harassment and HOA fund misuse. Turns out she'd billed the HOA for binoculars, neighborhood patrol gear, even gas money for her inspections. She had spent over $20,000 on surveillance equipment alone. Tyler's video, it went viral. 3 million views in the first week. Title, Karen versus Dad versus Bush. Comedy shows covered it. Someone remixed it with music. Another 5 million views. Tyler got invited to speak at school about digital citizenship. Colleges even reached out, impressed with his calmness. Neighbors came forward. The Johnsons, Patricia called the fire department because their fire pit smoke drifted the wrong way. Mrs. Henderson cried, telling me Patricia threatened her late husband's memorial garden over non-approved vegetation. The final blows hit fast. Patricia was banned from HOA roles for 10 years, ordered to complete 50 hours of community service helping elderly residents with yard work, fired from her job at a local real estate firm, cited for abuse of authority and creating a hostile environment. She vanished for a month, returned with shorter hair, no clipboard, and a sign in her yard, "Private citizen, do not engage." Then came the criminal charges. She was fined $5,000 and given 6 months probation for emergency service misuse. But it didn't stop there. Authorities found boxes in her garage, dossiers on every neighbor, photos taken without permission, and secret recordings of HOA meetings. She'd even hired a private investigator with HOA money to run background checks on new residents. The district attorney added stalking charges. In court, the judge made her write formal apology letters to every household, attend anger management classes, pay $47,000 in restitution for legal fees caused by her actions. Her voice trembled as she whispered, "Yes, Your Honor," to each requirement. Then the final sentence, "You are permanently barred from serving on any HOA board in this state." Patricia's reign of suburban terror was over. The last time I saw her, she was speed-walking past my house, eyes fixed straight ahead, refusing to glance at my perfectly trimmed edges.